Hello. How's it going, Jared Punch? We got Tuscan here, Bud. Bud saying to read Mashal. I would agree. Rakim, how are you doing today? Sinbad. Noah has 2 spells. Decline Vanica. Why? I don't know about just 2 spells, my guy. That'll be I'll be really unfortunate if all of the Vanica buildup goes down to 2 spells. Oh, what's up, Gene? How are you doing, Gene? See. Oh, hang on. I got the volume going to my stream. I gotta fix it. There we go. I didn't want it to double back in. Brand new whip just hopped in. What are you talking about, Gene? Ryan Fontes, how are you doing? How are you doing today? Noelle needs ultimate magic. Yeah, she's gonna need ultimate magic just to keep up with her. It's not like I don't think that her ultimate magic is gonna be like a big singular attack. It might be, but if it's I just hurt my voice right there. Fuck. Ow. But yeah, with Vanica, she has like if her ultimate magic is towards a higher version of her Sea Dragon's Roar, then maybe that'll just be a big finisher. Or if it's something like towards her Valkyrie dress, she'll probably have to be in that form just to fight in general. No, I don't know anything about the baby other than that there's a kangaroo named after him on a YouTube channel that I watch. It does a bunch of like stuff on this dude's like running a rescue ranch, but he has all these animals in his backyard. He's got a kangaroo named the baby. That's as much as I know. And I know the memes. I don't know any of his music. It'd be a crazy twist if Jack dies. I mean, it might happen. Like, Jack doesn't have much of a backstory. And if it hypes up Dante, that the next time we see him, maybe Dante's killed Jack. But I don't know. Give Noelle a dragon dress. I mean, it could be that. It could be a fusion of both. But I mean, like, it's gonna depend if her ultimate magic is something kind of like Lux, where it's a buff. Then yeah, I could see like that'll just have to be the base. But if it's towards like her Sea Dragon's Roar and it's like some ultimate magic version of that, then it's really gonna determine how this fight is gonna go just based off of what her ultimate magic is supposed to be. Arax, I just read through Fairy Tail Finale season title chapter for Zeref as White Wizard. Yeah, when he had Fairy Heart. White Wizard Zeref, but usually it's called Fairy Heart Zeref when people refer to that form. It's Jax Harlow. What does that mean? They sure made those robots explode, which will make Shiki hate him even more. How much wildlife means to Shiki. Yeah, I'm curious to know how he survives. Not survives that, but how he's gonna like deal with that situation. If he tanks it, or is he going to figure out a way to have escaped, or will it be some form of gravity kind of trick to not get hit by the damage, like make some form of force field? Still waiting for that devil dolphin. We don't need any dolphins. Just those stupid devil robots need in Zero. I don't need any more. I swear I didn't mean to troll. Gene, I never know with you, man. Yeah, see, Bud knows Kevin. Like, it's really funny. Like, I'd seen that dude's videos a couple times, so it was just like one of those nice, just some nice animal video kind of type thing. Like, nothing that crazy. And now he has an adversary. It's this big-ass pissed-off bird. But I decided my new favorite bird is this, it has this weird forename, but it was also called I think it was a wood grouse or something. And they just want to fight everything. They just want to fight everyone and everything that they come across. I watched one where there were 2 of them that were fighting, and then like a hawk came down and killed one of them. And the one that survived, instead of running away to save himself, he decided he wanted to fight this hawk. And so this hawk ended up killing both of them. It was really interesting to like look at this animal that just at all times wants to fight to the death. I thought that was hilarious, but also just really cool. No, I don't know who Jack Harlow is. Gene, I don't want to hear it. You still haven't even heard of Michael Jackson's song. We mentioned we mentioned I think Thriller, and Gene didn't know what it was or Beat It. I don't know. I don't know rap, dude. We're dripping on Rave Master's magic system now, Hero Halo. I mean, Rave Master's magic system was super. Like, there wasn't a whole lot to it. Like, you had the different general attributes and then aspects of just kind of magic. It was never the focus for Rave Master, because Rave Master had, like, it was more like there were classes and each character kind of could dip in the other one, but it wasn't as main focused as like Fairy Tail World. Like, practically everybody is a wizard with some certain variants, or like Eden Zero, where like some characters have ether gear. It was more of like you had Musica use a silver claimer. Haru had the Rave Stone and the Ten Commandments. You had Sieghart, who was a sorcerer. There were what was there was the one dude who was a telepath. I remember him. Like, he had that like kind of like big shuriken cross type weapon. Man, it's a little bit different for them, because the attributes went to everybody despite like what type of power like you fought with. Who also joined in the Vanica fight? Gordon, Charming, anyone? I had a discussion when I was talking to somebody. Gordon, I didn't think about at all. I was thinking Noelle, because Noelle fighting Vanica is just, I feel like it needs to happen. But Gordon, if we could get Gordon to come in and like do something about Lolo Petrica, I think that'd actually be really cool. And it would give him a really good win for his character in the series, to do something that important that makes like completely makes sense tied up with it. It would be his like big entrance and use into the arc. It'd be really cool to see that kind of go down. Let's see. Drax, do you know Candace at least? No, I don't know who that is, Gene. I don't know who these people are. I just finished your test, now you're down. You're all down with school. So like, you're going into the summer. I actually forgot what time of the year it was, which is actually really weird, because I forgot when like summer starts. Because I just work, and then I take interval times off throughout the year. So outside of like holiday events, like federal holiday stuff, like I'm working. So it's so cool to think like to have nostalgia for that time when like school is about to end, and like you enter. Like, for me, summer was usually like mid-June, so it was like June 1st. It was just everyone was in shenanigan mode because they didn't care, and they were getting ready for summer. It was a nice feeling to have as a pure souled nostalgic remembrance time. That's pretty sick though. Like, I having all that time off, and so I hope everyone's planning to do some fun stuff. I'm trying to set up right now to have some time off, but who knows when that'll happen. Work time off, not time off my YouTube channel setup. Do you think Mimi can match Elfman in physical strength? I would personally assume that Mimi could match Elfman in physical strength. I don't really see how she wouldn't be able to, like, just in terms of not like her full feats, because she doesn't have anything outside of like kind of like a narrative scaling, obviously being one of the Moonlit Beauty Gods, and she's been able to keep up with people like, I would assume, like Kukune and Yoko. So she's definitely strong. Her only real feats right now are on Lucy. But I mean, like, that still doesn't change the fact that narratively she should be above, I think, people like Elfman. If anything, equal to Elfman. But Mimi, I really want to know what her spiritual art is, because the other two both have really good abilities, whereas like so far Mimi hasn't done anything that had like a significant level of kind of just hype for her power, whatever her spiritual art is. I'm wondering with the whole thing that she was able to smell, like smell everybody from like like miles away. Who knows how long of a distance it was. That maybe her spiritual art is like how she talks about like people's bodies. if it's like she has like this peak body, like she has like full body manipulation in some way or something. And maybe how she could have made like that weird tornado she did too. Could explain her physical strength. I don't know. She has to have something really good. And that's like man, I've been fumbling over my words a lot today. My big concern over Mimi since her introduction. Not like in a really important kind of like setup, like however she's gonna be, because I do think that she is the silly character out of them. Mishima always has like one comedic character within the antagonist group, and that's clearly Mimi. And it also makes you wonder if we're gonna get more Moonlit Beauty Gods, or is this it? I feel like Celine is going to replace any of them that lose, probably all of them after this. So, just get a whole new set. Because I do think that'd be cool if instead we just get lots of the Moonlit Beauty Gods as like the supplementary characters, but like the big focus on like the character that we're going to be seeing in the arc is Celine. So I don't know. We'll have to wait and see what Mishima has planned with the next couple chapters, because I would assume that they're going to defeat the Moonlit Beauty Gods. It would be really weird if they didn't. Like I feel like Lucy's definitely going to beat Mimi, but if for whatever reason Mishima wanted to have Gray lose to Hakune, I don't think he's going to. But like in some freak circumstance, he does something like that to kind of shock people. I don't think it would really make sense even in like the idea of that, because Lucy would still be there. I would assume Natsu and Urza would get healed by that point, and then you'd have them and Wendy into the fight, and Hakune can't fight all of them. So I assume Gray will be fine in his fight, reveal whatever his transcendent magic is. And we'll probably get more of like the shock scene when we get back to like Celine and Suzaku. And my hopes are Suzaku gets saved by the Diabolos crew, because they should be in this arc. They should be present, because otherwise it'd be like, what was the point of saying that Suzaku was going on the mission to go after Celine if they didn't get included into this? Will Gordon take out Megicula Curse? Will Gordon take out Megicula Curse out? Oh, good. I'm messing up my words, and you're making it even harder for me. He might be able to work on the one on Lola Petrica. Like, I could see that happening for sure. Does anyone feel bad for Lola Petrica cursed? Her plan to beat Vanica failed, gets kidnapped. Yeah, her and Noct, their plans have been nothing but tumbling them further. Noct is in a better spot, but like Lola Petrica is just down bad further than I think most people in this arc. Nurse still saying Gaja's old magic will surpass Sinbad's lightning gin. Well, it's almost time to see if that take is true. Or it could be true, rather. Your time is almost here, Nur. Vanica fight is going to be the fight of the flashbacks. I don't think it'll be too flashback heavy. I mean, the flashbacks that come with that fight, I think are worth it. I would actually really like, even if it could peer away for multiple chapters. I know a lot of people probably wouldn't be wanting that as like that long, but I would love to see some content with Aesir, just because we know that she's obviously really important in like the Black Clover power hierarchy, obviously important to Noelle. It'd be cool to see it from Bonica's perspective. There's a lot of hype present there that I would really be hyped to see. Shaking out, oh, that's not at me. Homura's best girl of Eden 0. Any other opinion is wrong. I agree. Best girl. Oh, wow, Jean. Jean, I can't believe you. I was going to reveal an important secret that I know you've been waiting on, but now I can't after this backstab. Bigger sea dragon roar, greater than bigger spiral flames. Well, the thing is, like, Noelle's is treated more like her ultimate, like, attack spell. That's her ace. It's kind of like Zash Bell. He had Bowser Kerriga. He had his big lightning dragon. But profound spiral flames, like, the spiral flames are, like, I feel like his filler attack. And it's not like his big, like, kind of like signature attack either. It just feels like his regular spam thing. It's like Magna's fireballs. That's like it'd be like Magna having his ultimate magic be a big fireball. It'd be like, no, that'd be ass. It doesn't have to be anything too crazy complicated, but if it's just big spiral flames, that would be super lame. Captain Connor is best girl. Captain Connor is definitely not a girl. I think the Black Bulls are getting too much attention compared to the other squads. They're the main cast. I would agree that Yuno deserves to get spotlight, but I mean, like people gotta remember the Black Bulls are the main cast. They are the main people. Tabata has to make sure he keeps them relevant. He's still doing stuff with other characters, but he still has to figure out how he can fit the main cast in certain places and then other characters around them so it all makes sense. Because the thing is, what you don't want is a main cast member that kind of falls out of obscurity, just becomes a character that is almost like a background prop. I do agree that we do need to see the Yuno fight. We do need to see what's going on with Yuno. But it's like with Marileona. Like, Marileona is a very liked side character. Like, I am also a fan of Marileona. But Marileona's side of things isn't nearly as important as seeing something like for, character like Yuno. Or in terms of, like, side characters, someone like Magna. Because Yuno is going to get lots of content as, like, this arc and the story goes. Magna is only going to be able to fit into certain spots. It's just like the battle for Tabata is, like, figuring out how he can fit the other characters around all the main character events. But we will get the Yuno one. I'm personally surprised we're getting the Vanica fight before the Yuno fight, or the Xenon fight. But outside of that, I would have agreed definitely to go to the Yuno fight instead next. What's up, Telehim? It's good to see you too. How are you doing today? You think? Wait, I read that. Rex, did you hear what happened? No, I'm not gonna respond to you, Gene. You almost got me, but I'm not gonna. Rex, I think it would be Demaria's placing the Spriggan 12. I've always put Demaria as kind of like the middle ground, because everybody above her would have to be broken in a different kind of way. Or somebody like Irene, where even if she stopped time, I don't think she could hurt Irene. I think Irene just has so many enchantments and is so powerful she can't do anything to her. Or someone like August. Whereas, like, I would definitely put her above people like Agil or like Jacob. Probably God Serena. I don't really know what... God Serena's like a maybe, because, like, she can definitely hurt him, but I don't really know how much she can do it in her time stop. It's because, like, she's not a damage, like, high damage. She has certain potency attacks, but I don't know. Because when time stop, your, like, regular durability is still present. It's not like you lose durability. If you were, like, a character, like, had to activate a power to gain, become durable, but it's like someone like Gojo, like Satoru, like, is a good example. If he had to activate his power with time stop, and just the theory of how an infinity works, it would just stop in time stop, so you should be able just to go right through it. Whereas someone like Kaido, his physical body is his base durability. Like, he doesn't have any powers that makes him durable. He's just beefy. So I don't really know how well he would damage to it. But that's essentially kind of like where I've looked at Demaria. She's like the dead middle ground of the Spriggan 12. Because then, like, an opposing person for her is like Brandish, and Brandish is like, when it comes to Brandish and Demaria, it's literally who gets their ability off first. Does Brandish shrink Demaria, or does Demaria stop time? Because if she shrinks Demaria, then what does she even do with time stop? Nothing. She's not going to be able to do anything. What other squad besides the Black Bulls? Wait, there's other squads besides the Black Bulls. The Golden... Oh. Bud's slandering out here. I agree, though. Who would win in a fight? Itadori or Magna without powers? Without powers? Dude, he is, like, no powers. Yuji should win. Like, Yuji had superhuman physical strength, but, like, baseline. So you take away all abilities and you put him in a fist fight. Like he should win that. Obviously, like, when you take powers into play, that's completely different. I think Magna would definitely win. But no powers, Magna should lose. What are 5 shonen battle manga? Oh man, I don't want to do any top 10 lists in stream. Could Shunsui defeat Kenpachi? Probably. Because just the way that his Bankai works, I would assume that it would lead to the insta kill. Shunsui's a higher rank with Kenpachi, but it's debatable. I mean, the thing is, like, Kenpachi is like he's kind of like Saitama. He has huge, overwhelming physical strength. Kenpachi does have a Bankai that is pretty broken, of just this super cutting weapon that can cut space. Like, he is essentially Saitama with a hacks weapon at that point. But, or sorry, his Shikai, his Bankai is just like a berserker version of that. But he's susceptible to hacks. We saw that, like, when he tried to fight Pernita, like the big hand that, like, could mess with, like, your nerves. Like, he's still susceptible to hacks. So someone like Shunsui is a really good counter to him, of somebody who just really got a really good hacks. I think some of the bots now will join Ziggy. Probably after this. They might. Like, they're probably gonna be pissed off. Good match solo Black Bulls? No. Like, his last fight, he was fighting a guy who's, one of his big things was fighting at the speed of sound. Who's more underutilized in your opinion, Rill or Cobra? Oh, or just Cobra and Alvarez? Well, the thing though that Cobra has in Alvarez is Cobra lost to somebody who obviously he would lose to 1v1. There's no feasible way he was going to beat August at all. Zero. There was zero chance that was going to happen. Rill could be doing something else, or he's not even being a primary fighter, and he's essentially getting off-screen in a fight where other people have, like, at his level, have shown to be at it. Like, if he was against somebody that was shown to be able to clap captains, like, completely just no-diff captains, whoop their asses. Because the thing is, like, Arasion Sace level people were nothing to a Spriggan. Like, we never saw any of them really do much. Like, the highest anyone of the Arasion Sace has ever really done is Cobra keeping up with some of the people in the fight against Acno. Outside of that, they don't have much. Whereas Captain Rank should be able to fight with even some of the Dark Triad. Like, even if Jack was in a bad spot at the start with Dante, he figured out a way to adapt and keep fighting. Rill's not even being taken seriously by base Vanica. Like, he is very, very down bad. And then he gets off-screened. He's pretty much off-screen from this fight. We see him back. He's horribly wounded. He's clearly about to get overwhelmed, and he has to have somebody else save him. Unless he becomes, like, a really good, like, and strong support role in the fight moving forward, he's done in the fight. So he's essentially off-paneled. Let's see. Yo, Rex, hope you have a good day. I did have a good day. I went and got a haircut. How are you doing, though, Soul King? I went and got a haircut. I want to do some cleaning around my house. I was going to wake up early and do it, but I was very determined to get a lot of sleep last night. So I think I slept like 10 hours. It was great. I haven't been watching Eden Zero animated, honestly. It looks good. I've been enjoying it. I'm very curious to know how it's going to go, because this is still, like, the thing is, this is still the opening areas of the first season. This is all the opening area. They're going all the way through the Sun Jewel. So it should start really kicking up. I would imagine within the next arc. I would assume there's going to be a lot more kind of like a lot more big spread hype across the board, not just singular moments, because we're going to see a lot going on with over on Gilst and whatnot. And then we'll move into Talos. The Sun Jewel is where I think the big stuff of the arc is all going to be animated whenever they go ham. Urza versus Demaria. Urza can't count, doesn't have anything she can do against Demaria. Demaria will just stop time. Other than the fact Ultir would show up. And if Ultir shows up, then she's good. Because anybody in the main cast has Ultir essentially tied to them. Ultir, showed up for Wendy, and obviously and showed up for Jalal. So anybody adjacent to her, she will show up if time is stopped. It's really funny how they have a story related reason why they are essentially protected by time. Because the way that it's set up is it's not the old lady Ultir. It's not Ultir somewhere out in the world. The version that shows up is the portion of time that Ultir gave up when she used Lost Ages. So it is the embodiment of her lost time that takes form when time has stopped. It's a really weird kind of like character. Like I said, it's kind of like getting a blessing to a degree, where you just have this kind of base guardian-like power over you. I really like how they kind of cheated, added that in there. So it's like when there's another character doing it, kind of like you have Goku and you have King Kai. King Kai can give him information. A lot of the time, like, people wouldn't count that in a lot of like fight scenarios, because it's essentially a second character, like given to somebody. So it's not very fair. Whereas like with Ultir, it's completely different because it's built more into like how time works. It's built as like this presence kind of power rather than actually her intervening. If I don't watch anime that much anymore, unless anime is a lot better than the manga. I just prefer manga over the animes. Personally, I really like manga as a format, and then I'll watch the animes. But obviously, like the animes, when they get to like the parts I really want to see animated, it's like more of that for me. I don't watch a lot of stuff, like a lot of shows, blind. Like usually I've read the source material. Brandish and Demaria should be equal. Yeah, because Brandish versus Demaria really comes down. Does Brandish shrink Demaria first, or does Demaria stop time first? Whoever gets the other first is essentially how that fight is going to go. Do you think Aether and Noelle paneled together like mocking the guy and Edge's guy said? I hope so. Royal is getting more screen time than Prince, I mean, yeah, his fight is gonna. Well, his thing is gonna be fully focused on him. Unfortunately for Rill passed his point of having a really good moment. Rill should have went before Charlotte. Because the thing is, and I brought this up, I used Noelle as an example. Any character that joins the fight for that room is going to be the focus. Like I said, if Noelle shows up, the following chapter is going to be a Noelle chapter. And if the same thing applied, if Noelle showed up, the following chapter is going to be a Noelle chapter. Rill missed his chance because everybody that's going to be added into the fight is going to have a higher level of story and hype value than Rill. So Rill is in a really bad spot within the story. And it sucks that that's happening to him. We really need to get Rill out of that room and get him in a fight where he can get focused. That's the problem that people don't realize about Rill's situation. And I know it sucks, but I mean, like, it's the truth. And Rill has to get out of there. There's nothing he can do against Vanica. And now Lola Petrica's involved as well, cursed and controlled. What is Rill gonna do? Nothing. He has to get out of there. Morris is about to become a god. I actually really am enjoying Morris. Are you knowing the easier spoiler picks of being everyone on Twitter? No, I don't really mind. New form stuff is one of the types of spoilers I've never really been bothered by. Unless it's like a big plot point, there's something really important tied to that. I don't really mind a character just getting their new form like revealed. For instance, when this One Piece is a really good example because of the way that Fourth Gear ended on a cliffhanger of Luffy doing. It's kind of like a Bankai. Whenever you have like a chapter ending with like a character saying Bankai, the following chapter I will not mind seeing whatever the new form is. If it's something that tells something about where the plot's gonna go, that's different. But if it's a character just revealing a new form, I don't really mind. Because it's not like Milani was gonna be some big battle. She's like the first person they're really encountering. You can't count Shura because he's like a main boss guy who decided to take the initiative and jump right to the battlefield. With Milani, she's literally the first person we're gonna see. Like, her fight is not that important. So, I definitely am okay with it. Plus, I like the form. We're good. Actually, Asta's was a good. The Devil Union ended on a cliffhanger, too. That was a good example, too. Does Eric still have sound magic? Yes, he does. Demaria mostly just toys with her enemies before killing them, plus Urza's endurance is insane or anything withstanding damage Demaria inflicts on her. I mean, yeah, but if it wasn't for the fact that Demaria can stop time, or that Urza can counter Demaria to stop time, that she's able to win. Without it, like, what can she really do? She still should be fine damaging Urza. Wow, with how the bots are treated in Zero, do you think racism against them is almost as bad as treatment as Eldians in Attack on Titan? I think Mishima still has to get a little closer to that, because like the thing that they use with Attack on Titan is it was able to use real world events to kind of like model it a lot easier, whereas with robots you have to do a lot more, because obviously like you have to go more for like them as having humanity rather than people that already have it, and then obviously tying to real events just gives it a lot bigger sway. Sometimes I forgot what's the name of this and just go, yeah, it's Eric. I didn't think Fairy Heart form compares to Acnologia and his various forms. Do you believe that he's comparable to Bloom? Well, the thing is, he should be absurdly powerful in hacks, but he needed Fairy Heart just to control the space between time, whereas Acnologia ate the space between time. So anything that Acnologia, or anything that Zera threw at Acnologia, he would be able just to consume. Any of the attacks that he had would still be within Acnologia's like ceiling to eat power level wise. So that's why he had to go back in time to prevent him from ever getting that powerful. That was why his plan is he was going to cheat him before he ever got that strong. So Acnologia is still stronger. Fairy Heart Zeref just has a way of figuring out how to beat him. Fajin is probably my favorite quirk deck one. Like, what does it do? Like, isn't that the one? Is it a charge up? How does this new quirk work? You have any idea? Oh, the voice act in Eden Zero? I like it. I like it so far. Which form is stronger? Aldarnark, Dragon Force Natsu, or Alvarez, Savage, Dragon Force? Savage, Fire Dragon form Natsu. The Dragon Force Natsu is overall stronger, but Savage, Dragon Fire, the thing that it was so dangerous about him wasn't that it was a... People forget that Savage Dragon Fire is not a direct power-up. It's not like Dragon Force where on top of like the general new perks you get with and like power that you will get out of the dragon, but it gives you a multiplier across the board. Fire Dragon King mode does the same thing. Lightning Flame Dragon mode does the same thing. Same thing with other characters' power-ups. With Dragon Force, dragon-based abilities, but Dragon Force especially. Savage Dragonfire is just on the concept for his Flames of Emotion, where it's Natsu's fire and the power and potency behind it, right? Way more the potency as it was first shown as well, is dependent on his emotional state. And that's why it eventually got to a point where it was so hot that it was burning Zeref's magic and burning time. So it theoretically would be plank temperature when you get near that ultimate heat. Like you get to essentially infinite heat, which is the opposite of absolute zero. Whereas one is way more hacks, one is way stronger overall. Because the only times Natsu has ever burnt his own arms is Savage Dragonfire and the form he used against Mercephobia when Ignia forced him to eat his fire. Those are the only times that Natsu ever burnt his own arms from his fire. And my belief has always been that because the heat is infinitely rising with those flames, that his body can't adapt to that level of heat fast enough. Because we know one of the things about Slayers is they can adapt the variations of their elements. But if he can't adapt fast enough, it's going to become so hot that it just burns his arms. There's a lot of things within that power-up that has always made sense to me when you really put a bunch of pieces together. I need a manga protagonist where his only power is to make one clone of himself, nothing else. That would be boring as hell. Hello, Southern Nuxtaku. Southern Nuxtaku. One, I'm not Southern, and two, I don't even know anything about Nuxtaku. The fact Deku's given, that was kind of lazy. I don't know. I've always been a little different on Deku having multiple quirks. I never really liked it too much, but I've never been against it. But what the fuck does he even do that? What are you talking about? Where's Asta Noct running to do? I doubt it's towards the room. I would hope towards Morris. Like, Noct needs... The thing is, Noct is aware that Morris is the biggest problem in the situation. He shouldn't say, oh, you guys split up and find and help other people. The way that Noct is set up, he is mission direct. He needs to say, everybody here, shut up. We're going to go after Morris. The big problem. No more talking, no more kind of hanging out. This is serious times. I know not that aggressively, but kind of be like, guys, we have to focus. We have to go. This is super important if we want to stop this. Like, they need to get to Morris. What Black Clover character would be the best option at learning fairy tale enchantments? Who would be the maybe Gray? Gray would actually be really cool. I wonder how Gray's would even work. Because then she's just constantly buffing people and then just kind of switching elements. She's just like a offensive slash defensive hyper mage. Then I guess at that point. Oh, that's not me. I thought you were saying something about Jutsu. It's Demaria from the Time City Mildian from Ravemaster. Or maybe she met Seekheart. No, so Mildian is existed in Fairy Tail, Ravemaster, and Eden Zero. In Eden Zero, it's Xiaomei's planet. In Fairy Tail, Mildian is the city where Zareth actually went to not, I don't want to say university, but he went to a magic scholar. Is it Scholomance? No, that's a place. I don't know. Essentially, like, he went to college, and it's also where Demaria and Kronos kind of are from. Mildian were the people that worshipped Kronos, and Demaria is a Mildian that was able to fuse with Kronos. And then in Ravemaster, Mildian is the city where the sorcerers all live that protect time. But they're all their own universes, so they're all separate. See, scrolling past freaking Nev's weird post. What's happening with Uno versus Xenon or Mars versus Mars? I really do want Mars to show up, but Uno versus Xenon, I mean, like, as far as we know, they're just clashing. Nothing crazy. Seki, the red pilled and epic bronze mage gets solo every devil. I am legitimately curious as to what exactly Seki is going to do. And not from, like, the standpoint of, like, I don't think Seki could do much. Like, a small devil is already, like, if Seki's big, like, moment is defeating a low-level devil in one-on-one combat, I actually would like that. I think it'd be really cool if he was able to kind of bind a low-level devil by the end of this arc, and that's just his accomplishment. But it somehow is a credit to him at, like, beating, like, a high-level devil, and it just kind of goes towards Seki's long lines of promotion through miscommunication. You ever look at your fairy tale profiles on versus battle wikis? No, what are you putting on there? Do you have one for Celine? Passively planetary with that freaking moon feat. Fanjin is a martial arts technique to basically charge up attack. Deku can unleash short bursts. It doesn't mean any stress on the limbs either. He's gathering kinetic energy to make a big move. That's neat. So charge power. Rax is better than Bud, just doesn't deserve a big... what? Bud is a nice guy. People being mean to Bud in the comments, I do not approve. Still thinking the regular Diabolos tree will show up? Yes, they better show up. They better show up this arc. I'm going to be mad. Because here's the thing. I really like Suzaku, but I also really like Scoleon. And I want to see Scoleon do anything. Scoleon hasn't had a real moment since, like, chapter 30. Like, it actually was after that, because it was like 34 and 35. It was after he intervened with the Mirror Jane fight. That was, and he barely did anything that whole arc. We haven't even seen him do a move since what, Black Ash, when he beat Gray. Like, it's been so long since any Scoleon content has happened. I really want to see Scoleon again. I want to see his Dragon Force so bad. A giant skeletal dragon will be so badass. Let's see. Site gets a lot of flack, but I'm curious if you ever checked it out. I check on him sometimes. I don't know if I've seen any that you have made specifically, though. I go to Versus Battle Wiki on occasion. I'm not a huge fan of how they do a lot of their stuff, but I do. Like, they're, I use them as, like, a reference point for characters I don't know, if I want to at least know where to look for information. I don't agree with a lot of where they get power levels at, but, you know, whatever. Not a big deal. Latest on the, opinions on the Boruto poll. Yeah, I was surprised Naruto was, like, still at number 2. We're doing Shinsui or Kenpachi? I already answered that. Shinsui. You think Mino could almost mentally break Natsu? No. The thing is, if he... it's not going to be the same. Like, you do that to Natsu and he's going to go into pure rage. He's going to become E&D again, and he's just going to immediately murder Mahito. He's not like where Yuji almost, like, broke where he's shut down. Natsu will just go into E&D and then fry him and kill him. You don't like seeing Chibi form Libby? Who cares? That's like his travel form. Mahito, yeah, Mahito's got some pretty broke parts. What's your opinion on Natsu's Ignia Dragon Force? Well, I call it Aetherius Dragon Force because there's so many characteristics that go to his Aetherius. It just makes sense to me, but I really like it. It's a pretty badass form. I don't think it's complete. I think the next time you use it, it's going to be a higher level. Maybe get some horns. But yeah, I really enjoy it. It's probably my favorite power-up thematically wise, just because I thought it was really cool to see him overwhelm Mercephobia. I really liked seeing that point from Lucy's perspective of being afraid of him. And the fact that there was that severe drawback where his arms were just aggressively burned, it was really cool because, like I said, it gives hinting back to his Savage Dragon Fire, which is the only other time his fires burn his arms, but also it just gave it like a more intense tone to it. I was very happy about that. Let's see. I totally coined that name from Savage Dragonfire as far as Natsu's used to defeat Seraph. Oh, yeah, it's Savage Dragonfire. I wouldn't call it a form. It's more of just like a buffed version of his fire. Like, Natsu's physical body didn't change. Orange Ricky, it feels like. Oh, you sad about what happened with Miura? Yeah, that was pretty unfortunate. I wish Acno will be back in the Ignia arc. I am super on the fence of the idea of Acno coming back. It really would depend on how it's handled and what Mishima's plans are with him. Like, if there was... I brought up an idea a while ago. It was like, what if the weird mural like thing that Elefseri has is a portal, and it's like a portal to the afterlife, and he wants to bring Acnologia back or something. And I did a poll on it. It was like split down the middle, and the thing is, I'd be so curious of what the plan would be with Acnologia if Mishima brought him back. What would he like have in mind to do with him? To find a long, drawn-out way to bring a character back to life, and then do something with him in the plot. I don't know. We already saw Scoleon's Dragon Force Fairy Tail Zero. No, that's just a giant skeleton. His will be like it will be like this badass dragon with like a giant skeleton probably like framed on it and like into its design. Probably like crazier horns. It's gonna be so badass. I know it. It's I've been hyped for it since the concept of Scoleon was ever revealed. What's your favorite Fairy Tail pairing? A lot of the main cast ones I do really like, but like outside of that, just to kind of like think of a nice side one. Dang it. I'm trying to figure out what would be. There was actually there was one that I really liked that was in the Fairy Tail City Hunter, or City Hero rather, spinoff, where like they had Laxus with Hisui, and I thought that was such a weird ship. But I thought that would be a really cool thing for like Laxus. Like Laxus becomes king. I just thought that was pretty comedic. It would be really weird to do that, but at the same time, I mean, like, he's sweet. Probably would like Laxus. He's pretty badass. Thoughts on Maki low diffing her dad and the uncle. I mean, it's moving pretty fast. I mean, like, if she's more powerful than I understand, but the only thing I would say is, like, is more Naoya going to be the big thing in the fight? Because, like, her dad was never really shown. He was never really that important. It was never about her proving her parents wrong. It was about her, like, becoming the head of the Zenin clan. So her dad was never the focus. It was the people at the top of the Zenin clan that were focused. Right now, with Naoya, I'm more curious as to what Naoya's fate is looking like. Because I don't think Maki's going to die, but is Naoya just going to get killed? Like, he just got introduced. All Deku's quirks. Float, Black Whip, Fajin. And he's got, like, his danger sensing. How many does he have left in the, like, waiting before the reveal? Is it 1 or 2? Just got some debate, some Baki fanboys trying to claim Yujiro on I can clap Goku. No, that's silly. I was talking to a guy earlier who was trying to tell me that Yami could take guild arts, and I was like, that's absolutely ridiculous. Like, just in comparing some of the feats, like, from their fights, not even current guild arts, that'd just be absurd. But just like serious Leo and guild arts. You look at, like, guild arts going under Blue Note's gravity. Guild arts isn't phased by it. You have Yami. Yami was able to figure out a way to adapt to it with Black Moon, but he wasn't able to just, physically fend it off. So it shows, obviously, like, physical strength there. You have freaking guild arts in Ice Trail, blitzing light speed. He's got better hacks. He's got, like, almost 20 years, I would assume, of fighting experience. Because Yami looks old, but Yami's only, like, 27. Guild arts at the start of the series is 45. But yeah, so sometimes people get into really, like, offset debates. It's honestly a better way if Suzaku is the only dragon. Or Sark. No, I do not agree. No, they should be there. It should be a team up with the Fairy Tail group and the Diabolos group after they get this whole miscommunication dealt with. Because now it was revealed with Suzaku that it's a miscommunication between the Fairy Tail Guild and Diabolos. Diabolos are not evil. They aren't bad guys. They're two independent groups that have that have clashed and now have a very aggressive opinions of each other. Suzaku straight thought Fairy Tail was an evil guild. Like, well, if they can just get the situation kind of figured out, then they'll be good. Like, Diabolos clearly isn't nicest guild, but they can be reasoned with, I would assume. Like, Suzaku already, like, was very polite with the Whiteout Grand Priestess and stuff, or the Grand White Priestess of Whiteout Village. Like, he's shown that he can be very approachable and fair to talk to. So I don't think it would be a good idea to keep the other three out of this arc when they're on top of that. They were set up to go into this arc, so it'd just be kind of pointless to leave them out. And they need literally everybody they can get to fight Celine. Both those bumps, Dante and Suzaku got clapped. Wait, what? Suzaku getting clapped by Celine is completely different than Dante getting clapped by Magna. The thing about Dante losing to Magna is because he let himself get caught in a hack that he could have easily avoided. Celine is absurdly more powerful than Suzaku. That's as clear as day. A character losing to somebody who outclasses them dramatically is not something that you can kind of like meme on, unless they like went about it in like a goofy way or something stupid and they were getting taught a lesson. Them in it like a fight where they're just set up like that, where they're just in a very mixed match fight, you can't hate on them that much for it. Guts' theme is bad. Guts is cool. Guts' theme is cool too. Right, which fight did you like the most? Urza and Wendy against Irene or Guild Arts versus August? Manga wise, I'd probably go Urza's fight. Anime wise, I'd probably go Guild Arts' fight. Because I did like what they added. Like with Guild Arts' fight, they mostly just added like more spells for August and some like hand-to-hand combat scenes. And it was more, I think it did more in the anime onto a lot of like the content in those fights versus the Irene and the Urza fight. Deuce Senmo is really cool, but like I wasn't a huge fan of how they had Urza like cut Irene, that scene of her just going down to slash her. That was like the thing that made me sad about that fight, whereas like Gildart's got a really big sweet attack on August to finish out his fight for the most part. World where Gray and Ro on the same level as the Sad World. Gray is nowhere, or you talking about Black Clover Gray? No, about Fairy Tail Gray, because Gray and Fairy Tail is nowhere even close to that level. Real is that's ridiculous. It's confirmed that it took the Eden Zero crew 2 days to reach Narrow Sea because high tide is literally close. I don't know what what does that do with anything? What's up, Kill West? How you doing? What if Acnologia will be unsealed from the Fairy Spear with someone like the White Mage? Well, the thing is, like, he should be dead. His soul was destroyed. His body crumbled away. The thing, though, about Acnologia, he could easily not be dead based off the fact he pretty much became part with time-space to a degree, like eating the space between time and integrating that power into you. You could easily have him just exist in time, kind of like Ultir or something, but I think he's just dead. And if there was a way to open up like a gateway to the afterlife, then maybe you could bring him back, but I don't know. And the press racer kept fighting for 2 days. Weren't they already, like, there? Like, right when he got there? Anyone started reading Chochi next? I read the first chapter. He has one more quirk yet to be revealed? Okay. I actually really like the Charge Jet power. Because that's something that I would have chosen for... If Horikoshi came up to me and said, I need to give Deku, whatever is it, six sub-powers to... All for one, I would pick something like a Charge Jet power. I don't know about like the smoke screen. I'm not a fan of the smoke screen. Black Whip, I'm not really a fan of. I'm okay with Float. I wouldn't have picked Float. I would have probably picked some form of like figure out a way to kind of like integrate it into the other ones. I would have to like think about it, but I would want them all to kind of sync better together. But that's why I like the Charged one. Is the Charged one syncs with everything. The Charged one goes with smokescreen power. He could use it for all for one, or one for all. He could use it with Black Whip. I would assume he can charge it up with Float and maybe do like a Hulk style super jump or something. My favorite Spriggan fight? Let me think. I actually really like how parts in the anime for the Bloodman fight, but more about like seeing Bloodman's perspective. But man, let me think about this. I really liked Laxus's fight. It was really fun to read at the time of. The only thing I wasn't a fan of was the whole Red Lightning when it happened. I like how they kind of gave more context to it in Other Deer's Quest, but I wasn't a fan of it at the start. It might be the Demaria fight is definitely up there. It's definitely one of my favorites because it gave like giving more information about like the stuff with like Lost Ages and what happened to Ultir. I really liked. I was very happy about that. Like it. Because I really love getting new information that benefits and works in some way that improves off of previous stuff. It's one of the reasons I really liked Max going to Alvarez and learning under Agiel. Because it was able to you were able to take a character and advance it in a way from previous events into like the current scenario. I always enjoy stuff like that because it makes the world feel a little bit more active. But, yeah, that one I really like. The fight against Agiel I actually really like, too. I always thought that was a really fun one. Probably one of my ones, probably one of the ones that I had for my favorite ending was the Jacob fight. The Jacob fight itself, I wasn't a huge fan on, like, not like a bad ways, but it was, it was more funny because like Jacob was the funny guy of the group, but I did like his hand-to-hand combat skills and the way that he used his magic. But I really liked the finisher when Makarov threw him and Natsu out of the guild. Natsu went Fire Dragon King mode and then just vaporized the whole lake and beat him. It was done in a really cool hype way, not like a super dark or kind of like last moment kind of sad way. It was a very good, like, pure-hearted, fun win on a character who, though wasn't a big deal, was a big enemy. But, oh, it was super chat. Thank you very much, Robin McClellan. Racks, what theories you have for the next chapter of Black Clover regarding Undine? And it could possibly, and if she is, could possibly be, and if she is with Noelle or just somewhere else in the world. I don't like the idea of like her going with Noelle was the thing for a while, but I think the longer that it went with her not being shown would point to her not being with Noelle. I actually really like that if the Lola Petrica fight at some point reveals her having a cursed Undine also in control. I personally that is the theory that I like the most right now, and I'm gonna stick with it. But yeah, thank you very much for the $9.99. I really appreciate it. What else? One quirk left from the second user. Okay. Oh, the second user. I thought the second user was the Fa Jin one. Okay. So this one should be even better, I would assume. How is Maki going to be the head when she killed the entire clan? I mean, she killed, I would assume, everybody that was in opposition to her. I would assume. It'd be real, because like even with these guys and the way that Maki just mowing through them, if you were one of them, I think if you gave up before she, like if you were right in front of her and you just gave up, said nope, I submit, I'm sure she wouldn't just execute you. I don't know though, but that's gonna be a deciding factor probably with the next chapters too. Because if she kills everybody, like what is she just gonna live in an empty mansion? I don't know. Since Suzaku cutscene, how does he fare against Irene? I think he could get Irene to maybe, like, medium-level difficulty. Because I think Irene could do that as well, but I don't think Irene is close to Celine. Something like a mid-diff, I would assume, for Suzaku versus Irene. In Irene's favor. Will Mira Jane show up more of her forbidden forms like Halfis? I mean, if she shows up in the arc, the problem is she's not around. But the thing is, Celine can pull people over at any point she wants. Natsu versus Ichigo and Natsu versus Naruto wins. I mean, Natsu versus Naruto right now for sure. Natsu can definitely beat Naruto. Naruto doesn't have Kurama anymore, so any of the things that are dangerous to him are gone. Against Ichigo, like the thing is like that always makes me sad is Ichigo never got his like end game kind of really build up hype to kind of put him in a higher status. And I know a lot of people don't want to hear that, but like we don't even know what his Bankai did. All we got was that he was physically stronger and he had a Grand Race arrow. I do not think he can take Natsu, especially when Natsu has the thing about his big, you know, what was end series close to at the time when he had Savage Dragon Fire. Is that something he can achieve on his own? It wasn't a temporary power up influenced by somebody else. It's something he can achieve. Whereas, like, we don't know what Ichigo's Bankai does, so, like, even though he can achieve it, there's no knowledge of, like if it's a threat or not. All we know is that it was, I guess, threatening. Let me scroll down somewhere. Aryan probably wouldn't have her guard down. Oh, yeah, I think that it would be, like, a medium-level difficulty fight. Besides Madmal, did Diabolos not care at all about losing Wraith for good? I mean, I don't know if it was entirely like that, because clearly Suzaku, like, cares about members of his guild. So I would assume he would, but Scullion probably just saw it as, like, oh, well, there's nothing I can do about it. Like, not like that he's would laugh or, like, see this or whatever, but it's more of, like, I couldn't do anything about that, so... It's like with Nibaru. Once Nibaru transformed, like when he's Dragon Force, he tried to tell him not to, but the second he decided to do it, he's like, well, there's nothing we can do about it. That's my guess is how he's going to kind of like be set up. Ray from Black Clover over Grey Fractal, no. Close to time-outable offense. Blue Exorcist maybe falls asleep. There's definitely parts in Blue Exorcist that drag on, but Blue Exorcist is good, Gene. I would agree, like, if you're not willing to go into those drier spots, then it might not be for you. As I feel Natsu ended up being the one to defeat all the Dragon Gods. Oh, I mean, he has to defeat Ignia 1v1. I do think he has to defeat Ignia 1v1. I'll be really surprised if Mishima doesn't have him do it 1v1, but we'll see. I think the other ones are going to be in groups. That's why I think Selene is going to have to be a big-ass group to fight her. I think Noelle will have something to counter Vanica or Megikiller or Charlotte, and we'll have to combine. It helps Noelle. I think Charlotte is going to have to do stuff. Rill, I don't know what Rill is going to do. Maybe just make water for Noelle. I don't know. Last time he said it didn't take easy to recruit a regional 662 days. Oh, I don't even remember that. I don't even remember that conversation, I'm not going to lie. Do you think Gray will understand what her magic is during the Spade arc? I would assume so. It would be really weird if that's a plot thing and that doesn't get shown until the next arc or something. I have a cool idea of Noelle using her layer or cradle as a better mermaid form. What is this, like a really big one? Real gotta be the only captain with this many screen time. That's the thing that Real has that bothers me. Is Real has had a lot of screen time in this arc for like the captains not named Yami, and yet he hasn't done anything in them. That's the bigger thing for me. Like the bars, like he's still a captain. Like I understand, but it's not like with Fuego Leon. Fuego Leon has had almost zero screen time really in this arc to actually do anything. He's just been frying some small devils. Rill has had a good chunk of moments he could have done something. He didn't even have to do anything that major, but Tabata has had time to give him a chapter and didn't. Which villain so far are you hyped for more, Shura or Morris? I'll probably go Morris, because I really like Morris's concept. I really like where he's at right now. Shura has a lot of potential too, but I would definitely pick Morris between the two of them, at least at the moment. Because Morris has way more history that we know about him, and he's got way more of a bigger spot right now where he is at in the story. Will Ong Saram be covered later in Fairy Tail? I hope so. I really want to know about Ong Saram. Yusuke's fighting style kind of reminds you of Urmeshio Yusuke. Yeah, I mean, he's just like a brawler. Rax, the 100 Years quest is being written. Do you think only Natsu will fight and beat Celine? No, I think it's going to be a massive group. I've mentioned it many times. Black Web user's voice is the same as Chad from Bleach. From Usher's Rash. Oh, that super deep dude that played Chad? That's pretty funny. I don't watch the My Hero anime. Did Kaido handing Luffy another L raise your opinion of him? I've mentioned this before. Josuke and I actually have a very similar opinion on Kaido, or at least take on Kaido. It's like it constantly up and down. Oh, really like Kaido? I think, oh, Kaido. It's like stocks. Kaido goes up and then it goes down. Like with Celine, it's been like someone like Celine straight up. Dragon in Fire Force. It's been like he'll go up in like big spikes. He'll just continuously, it'll be like a big spike and then nothing, and then a big spike and then nothing. Kaido is just constantly doing stuff that I don't like, but then he'll do something I do like. And I'm fine with that. Like, I don't actually think there's anything wrong with Kaido. But, like, I don't have a problem with him. Him beating Luffy was good, though. I would say Kaido stocks are back pointed up, though. Libe is Rin and Finral is Yukio. I don't know about that one. Which villain you hype for more? Oh, I already answered that. Let me get some more of these comments. I heard the next issue of Black Clover is getting cover page. Mashl's getting a cover page. I heard that too. I'm pretty hyped for it. Is Gray's Devil Slayer a curse or magic? It's both. It's kind of like how Dragon Slayer magic is not just entirely magic. It has the dragon power on it. It's a dragon attribute. That's why you have stuff like dragons are... Because the way that dragons work is... They are pretty much immune to magic, but they have their own power source. They have their own just innate power that dragons have. That's, the dragon power ability. That's why they're able to hurt a dragon. They're able to get past the magic kind of like barrier that they have for damage. Whereas devil slaying is both a magic and a curse. And it slowly curses the user as it's using it. That's why Gray had to go to... Polyushika and get that whole serum so he could, kind of keep himself together and not be cursed. Which fires you like more, Fuego Leon or Rengoku? Oh, Fuego Leon, definitely. Langus would be the real MVP of the Xenon fight. That's not going to happen. Will they steal Celine or beat up Celine? The thing is, I feel like I've been fully prepared to the idea of Celine having to die by the end of this arc, but I'm hoping she's defeated, but she she kind of pulls like an escape route and then sets up to be like fully defeated in like a following arc. Maybe she teams up with like whoever is going to be the main bad guy, like the overarching bad guy for 100 Years Quest. I don't know. Yeah, Rengoku doesn't use fire, so technically Rengoku can't be in that list. The story is about a war between progressive factions with humans and demons that wanted peace, and antagonists a conservative faction who hates demons and humans. That sounds pretty aggressive. Do you agree that Dragon Gods being equal to Acno or maybe stronger? I think they're all, I would say each of them on a 1v1 case are equal to base Acnologia, normal Acnologia. But I think that he would beat any of them 1v1 because he has the direct power advantage of just like magic in general is countered. So anything outside of their innate dragon abilities, he can just completely consume. He also is a dragon slayer, so he can fight back against anything that they have. And he's got his own like personal tricks. Like he's a dangerous character for all of them. I think it's stated that Elisir that they have powers that rival Acno. Yeah, that's essentially like the idea of them. Could Natsu eat imaginary fire? He's not eating Rengoku's like LARPing fire. Supposedly only demons have powers like Metsu no Yaiba. The one like heat sword thing is a confirmed real power. That's it. What's your opinion on Akaza? I like the upper moons. That was the thing that bothered me about Muzan. Is I got the concept of Muzan, but I didn't like how he was when I liked his minions. I liked all of the upper moons. I liked all of them. I thought they were all really cool, but Muzan himself was just lame. It would be like if Aizen was not a cool character and he has all these cool Espada. Just a bunch of bickering in the comments. I see a lot of back and forth between Nez and JK Network. Rengoku doesn't use fire. It's all cosplay. It's all pretending. They're just using their motivations. But let me see. Merlin versus Irene. Irene will clap Merlin. She's so much faster. She's way more tactical. She's got way more of a diverse... the thing is, she's got more of a diverse moveset just from what she's shown. I know Merlin's supposed to have a lot of stuff, but like Irene is going to just dance around her, and the second Irene turns into a dragon, Merlin is done. She's dealing with somebody not only way more powerful than you, but also a sage dragon. The fact that one's going to Yaiba are fake is kind of pathetic. I mean, it's not pathetic. It's a visual thing. It's the fact that people assume it's a superpower thing. But it's misleading, so I understand. It's done in a way that makes it that it makes it seem like they have powers. But if it was done more in a way that built on the display thing and not nearly as much as if they had powers, I think that problem wouldn't exist. Because if you just watch the show or read the manga and you never looked into it, you would assume that they have powers. Merlin stops time as infinity. Merlin it takes Merlin like 10 minutes to cast that spell, and it's not an actual time stop. It's a selective time stop. It only works in a small area. And Irene doesn't need infinite magic. She immediately just blitzes and then extracts magic out of Merlin. All she has to do is cancel her aging thing, because she's still susceptible to getting magic canceled. Irene is going to do fine. How strong do I thought Kurenugi is? Sword Saint Dragon Kurenugi. I don't know. Like it's a really interesting question for me, because it's gonna say a lot about where Suzaku was at the time, like power level wise, whenever he defeated Kurenugi, as well as it'll probably tell us like about Celine as well. I would assume if Celine says at one point maybe they are equal or something kind of weird like that. But I would guess maybe stronger, like kind of like Metallicana, Grandine level dragon stuff, not like Igneel. But That's just my guess as of right now. We don't really have like relatively anything about him right now, so sadly I can't go too much into just the general idea of that guy. Rill and Leopold versus Tower of Heaven, Jalal and Dragon Force Natsu. Oh, dude, Natsu and Jalal are gonna clap. One, you're gonna have the thing is, Natsu with Dragon Force, he has so much more physical force than Leopold and Rill is not durable. So if Natsu just lands one punch, like one good punch on Rill's done. And Jalal is just such a dangerous arsenal, while Natsu is like automatically going to counter Leopold. He's going to counter Leopold, or Jalal just in there in general. As like swap them, cool. You got Leopold versus Natsu. Natsu eats all stuff, bodies him. But what's the other fight? Jalal versus Rill. Jalal drops Grand Chariot and then Rill explodes. I never understood Irene Dragon Slayer Power Sage. It's like the way that it seems, it's more of like just like a general magic enhancement. Like she would just be more magically adept as like a sage dragon. Like a sage maybe leaning, towards the concept of like wisdom. I would guess at least. Who do I see winning, Asta or Luffy? I think Luffy would currently I would give it to Luffy over Asta. Asta maybe by the end, but the thing of that kind of hurts Asta in the fight is the only thing I think Asta in a power equalized setting would really kind of like favor towards Luffy is messing with his haki. But the thing is, like, even if you canceled Luffy's haki, Luffy still has more physical strength than Asta can deal with. Because physical strength fighters, Asta can't deal with right now. He has enhanced, he's got normal enhanced physical strength, but he doesn't have anything that comes up to somebody like Luffy has. No, I Heavenly Body Dragon. No, it's not Irene. Base Asta and base versus is 100% Deku. Still Asta. Asta's way faster. And he's way more experienced in combat. Totoro easily beat Nanami. Wait, what? Toto easily just beat Nanami out of being one of my favorite characters. Nanami's still my top 10. That's good. Toto's really cool, too. A lot of people really like him. I think Tower of Heaven, Natsu, and Jal beat current Rill and Leopold. Yes. How many copies of 100 Years Quest sell? I don't know. The thing about 100 Years Quest that, like, it's really weird to kind of understand how much they're making, because the chapters, when they come out, you buy them as the single chapter. They're like equivalent. I think on their app, it's like 70 cents a chapter. So you don't actually know how much money they're making, because they're also making money off of individual chapters as well as volumes. But the way that they have it set up is they have such a wide selection of stuff. Instead of it being like set in a magazine where you're paying for the magazine itself, they're making it so you just have a ton of selection of series to follow, and ones individually are going to be making a ton extra just on those ones, because I think it's like 500 something thousand people on their app bookmark 100 Years Quest. So it'd be like that, like every chapter, like even if they're making half that, they're making what, like was it like 200 something thousand per chapter release, not even talking about volumes additional on top of that. And that's just for, the singular one, and only on the idea of, like, singular issues and not even, like, backdate reading or people buy more than one issue. Let's see. No, Irene said that she could affect the land, sea, and earth. Or the land, sea, and heavens. Justice versus Sieg card. I'd currently give it to Sieg. Justice has a cool power, but he doesn't have a whole lot, nearly as many feats as either Sieg or Jalal, and he doesn't have nearly as many impressive feats. How do the 5th generation Dragon Stars get their Dragon Star magics if they need to eat a dragon? That's something I think is going to be revealed. My theory currently is that the Georg and the Black Dragon Slayer Knights, actually, let me get I have the official volume that changed their name, and I kind of like theirs better. Let me see it. I woke up my cat, unfortunately, doing that. I gotta scroll down near the end. I think it's Dark Dragon Slayer Knights. Yeah, Dark Dragon Slayer Knights. I kind of like that better. But my theory is that they Georg and the Dark Dragon Slayer Knights are Dragon Slayers that already were Dragon Slayers and then defeated a dragon, ate dragon meat, and then gained an additional power on top of that. Because when you have to think about it like that, you had a good point. I've talked about that a little bit, and I had a discussion with somebody about this already. Because then it could be that the weaker people in Diabolos, maybe they assisted in killing another dragon, but it was like a team mission. Because think about it like this: the main Diablo group went on a mission to go after, a dragon god. They went after Mercephobia, failed. Then they were going after Alderaan, but there were more people put on that mission, Nibaru and Wraith. They failed again. So now they're having, Georg is having Suzaku go with them. So I think with their system setup is they would probably go after a dragon, and if they're not strong, defeat them, send one of the stronger ones in to kind of for sure be a kill, at least from their perspective. So that's my idea so far, is the ones that are the Dark Dragon Knights and Georgs have been able to defeat and eat a dragon one-on-one, whereas the lesser ones needed help to do it. That's my guess, at least, but we'll see. Is Luffy faster than light? I mean, he should be, because he dodged Pacific's lasers. I don't know if he's massively faster than light. That seems a little bit much. GMG base Natsu's faster than Kizaru. Yeah, he just dodges his lasers point blank. Current Homura versus Ikaruga. I want to see this chapter. I'd probably still go Ikaruga, because Ikaruga's sword attacks. It was cutting through space. Oh, I got some annoying Twitter ad, all of a sudden. I don't know why. I require them to leave me alone. At first, I was entirely being a fan of Yuji's power, setting to Sukuna, but after... Black Flash is cool. I'm not a huge fan of Yuji's moveset. How could he be faster than the dude with the light power? What would be the... Oh. I think theirs is more for travel speed. I don't think anybody else in One Piece can move the same way Kizaru does, but they can react. I think they can react to his stuff. Certain people. But I've never been... I know that the Pacifist lasers have always been a point of contention. What happens at Rax Frontier's Quest? It's like manga poke. It's one from the Japanese side of Kodansha. They have a ton of their titles on there. So you can also see Four Knights of the Apocalypse chapters, Eden Zero chapters, Fire Force chapters when they come out in Japan. Do you honestly think Damari can take over gods like how Mirk? I don't think God Soul would be a multiple God Soul person. I think you'd only be able to do one. Because the thing that it was brought up about her is that she essentially was this chosen one to be able to fuse with Kronos' soul. I kind of wish Yuji kept the knife, but I'm alright with this. Who would win, Naruto or Natsu? Currently, I'm giving it to Natsu. Naruto lost all the stuff that was good for him. But yeah, I'm gonna end it here. We had a good stream. We're gonna be streaming on Tuesday, 100 Years Quest Chapter Day. So like normal, this one is not gonna be that long, but we are going to get to a more hype stream on Tuesday when we get to this fight. My guess is it's going to be Lucy fight this chapter, and then Lucy fight next chapter, but ending with setting up Gray and Hakune's fight. So we'll see. I say we'll see a lot too. I say we'll see, and then what was this? I can't remember the scrolling one. I replaced it with we'll see in my comments. But anyway,